actually suffers. So near miss is a tough reminder to act, that we have to put our acts together. We have to analyze our own self, debrief ourselves at the end of this near miss and see what can be definitely improved. Now, more accurately, life-threatening condition affecting pregnancy, labor, postpartum that could result in maternal death. Near miss now refers to avoidable risk. Any risk that could have been avoided is called as near miss, while as severe acute maternal morbidity retains the concept of harmed or damaged mothers. So we have to see it with a positive experience, in a very positive way. So we have to focus on the solutions and not on the problems. So we are going to restrict ourselves to near miss and think positive that these patients can indeed be saved. Why so much significant about near miss cases, documentation and analysis? Why do we insist on giving documentation and analysis so much importance, especially in near miss? Maternal death are understood and referred to as a tip of the iceberg in relation to the maternal health issue. It has been suggested that focusing mainly on fatalities and many important health issues might be overlooked. So for each woman who loses her life due to causes related to pregnancy, many more experience life-threatening. Therefore, maternal near-miss audit is a newer concept, but it is getting rapid acceptance by the healthcare system. In Mumbai, we have got ourselves and we have asked all the medical colleges to discuss the near-miss and give us a report every month as to how many near-misses are happening. So now government is also asking for a report of near-miss. And it is better than death audit in improving the maternity care and preventing the maternal death. So women who develop severe acute complications are mirror image of many pathological and circumstantial factors which were experienced by those who lost their lives. Those who survived and those who lost their lives, they have gone through similar circumstances. Only those who have survived will live to tell us what actually happened to them. Those who died will not be able to tell us what has happened to them. Hence, review and analysis of these conditions can provide valuable information which is of great value in implementing strategies to prevent maternal death. A number of near misses are more than maternal death, and a large number of case situation analysis are now available. Interviewing these women who survived complications give insight into sequence of events which lead to criticality as well as a survival. It is less threatening for healthcare professional as it is for the story, which is actually we can share it very proudly that this patient survived. So they are okay to discuss it, or they are okay to share it with their friends, because they are not threatened that the patient died, now this will happen, that will happen. They are not worried. Patient survived. So now we can discuss about it. They are happy and they are better to discuss about such a situations. So these near miss reviews enable us to modify and implement strategies and have protocol in place which will help to reduce the occurrence of severity and prevent near misses as well as the maternal mortality. So near miss cases are more common than maternal deaths. The major reasons and the causes of severe morbidity will be less threatening to providers because the woman has eventually survived. One can learn from the woman themselves by talking to her, and they are available for interview about the care they received. And all near misses should be interpreted as free lessons and opportunities to improve the quality of provision. So in this particular audience, I want to ask how often you encounter near misses. Near misses are seen in public sector, private sector, corporate sector, everywhere. And the spectrum of near miss is been changing over the past 5 years. We can see more and more patients are hypothyroid, diabetic, hypertensive, elderly age group. So our near misses are also increasing gradually. So it's difficult to predict what is a near miss, as there is no international uniform definitions. Two methods have been described to address relationship: mortality to morbidity ratio, or the case fatality ratio is the number of severe morbidity cases for each maternal death, and the mortality index, the number of maternal death divided by the sum of the women with the subacute maternal mortality and the maternal death is expressed as percentage. So if you see in this particular chart, you can see that the case fatality ratio, South Africa is 1 in 5, India is 1 in 11, UK is 1 in 118, and France is 1 in 222. This tells us that how their maternal health has been dealt with, and if the percentage you see that the care they receive is, you can see that it can be defined as how the country takes care of their women. So we have to face the present. The incidence of acute medical surgical emergency in pregnancy and postpartum has increased. It's only going to increase further, and it's not going to decrease during the past decade, and is expected to continue to increase because of the advanced maternal age, medical surgical comorbidities, increased operative interventions, ART procedures, IVF pregnancies. I don't need to tell you all how high risk these IVF pregnancies are, placental complications, multifetal pregnancies, rising obesity. These are all some of the reasons why we are having increased near miss maternal mortality. So like, what is a risk pyramid? So we have to risk stratify each and every patient that we are getting to know that what situations would you consider, oh, it was near miss, and any categorization you find you would apply in your day-to-day practice and have a risk pyramid for yourself. So clinical criteria is a specific disease as starting points for each disease. Near miss is defined as preeclampsia is a disease entity, and complications like renal failure, eclampsia, pulmonary edema are near miss in cases of the preeclampsia. Depending on the intervention, if you want to say admission to ICU, need for emergency hysterectomy, need for more than 4-unit blood transfusion, and need for interventional radiology, they are used as markers. These data are available both prospectively or retrospectively, even in low resource setting. If you want to go on organ system dysfunction, the sequence from health to death includes diseases or injuries causing systemic inflammatory response, organ dysfunction and death, and criteria are defined per organ system. So it can be cardiac, it can be renal, it can be lung, it can be whatever is that organ, depending on that. Then use of locally relevant potentially life-threatening conditions are encouraged. Like in COVID, like we used to have a different set of problems, so we have to look at the local place also and see if they are having any different life-threatening conditions. And WHO guidance provides a basic set of conditions together with the operational definitions. So few studies have shown that the condition-based definitions are better than the management-based ones, as the former can be used in poor resource countries. So depending on the condition, whether it was a cardiovascular dysfunction, whether it was a respiratory dysfunction, whether it was renal dysfunction, coagulation or hematological dysfunction, hepatic dysfunction or neurological dysfunction, depending on that we can say it was a near miss. In developed countries, the incidence of near miss was 1% when organ failure criteria was used, and 4 to 8% using case identification criteria. Likewise, in developed countries, the near miss was 1% when organ failure criteria is used, and 4 to 8% using case identification criteria. So the three main broad categories are pregnancy specific obstetric and medical disorders, pre-existing disorders aggravated during pregnancy, and accidental or incidental disorder during pregnancy. So the inclusion criteria should be minimum 3 from each category, like clinical findings, either signs or symptoms, investigations or interventions. It could be 3, or any single criteria which signifies cardiorespiratory collapse is a part of the near miss. So if you see the categories, there can be pregnancy specific obstetric and medical disorders like hemorrhage, sepsis, hypertension, postpartum collapse, liver dysfunction and cardiac dysfunction. Pre-existing diseases that can be aggravated like anemia, respiratory dysfunction, cardiac dysfunction, hepatic dysfunction, endocrinal disorders, neurological and renal failures. Incidental and accidental causes like accident, any surgical problems, anaphylaxis, infection, embolism, these form the incidental and accidental causes. So depending on that, you can categorize the near miss cases. So it's a risk pyramid actually. If you see, like the pregnant population, the clinical insult which occurs, which causes systemic inflammatory response, the organ dysfunction, the organ failure and death. And therefore it is a very big pyramid, and near miss includes events involved in the biological continuum that goes from normal expected healthy situation of pregnancy to maternal death. Of course, the time required varies. Some may progress very rapidly from a normal healthy pregnancy to maternal death, or some may take a lot of time. So it is that stage where organ dysfunction and the women are literally in the jaws of death, and coordinated medical intervention and luck are very much required to save the life of the woman. The normal pregnancy, which like we are almost in a preventive essential obstetric care, then it becomes a near miss, and if it does become a near miss, a timely intervention which will prevent or actually cause the maternal mortality. So these risk factors keep moving up and down. It could be patient factors, potentially the hardest to rectify, because in developing countries so many social economic considerations are there. System factors like communication, policies, procedures, transport, administrative systems, and provider related like mainly incomplete or inappropriate management, lack of trained staff, non-adherence to the protocol or the standards is one of the crucial risk factor for maternal morbidity, whereas dissemination of guidelines and skill drills are associated with improved adherence to the protocols and significant reduction in the maternal morbidity. So case fatality ratio is a sensitive measure of the standard obstetric care, and there's a huge difference between case fatality ratio in the developed and developing world, which ranges from 0.2% in the developed world to 37% in the developing world. Maternal near miss incidence ratio is 16.6 per thousand live births, and case fatality 1.9:1, and mortality index is 0.34 in tertiary referral center in rural India. We need more medical teaching institutions in rural India, and we have to go a long way to improve maternal and child health statistics in India. So this is from this paper, near miss obstetric events in maternal deaths in rural tertiary center in North India. So what we need is a multidisciplinary approach aimed at cutting the thread of the web of causation of the near miss and death for each and every woman, irrespective of their place of residence, socio-economic, education, cultural class. And the world is interdependent. The biggest challenges of today's world are inequality and inequity. So near miss is just around you, anywhere, anytime near miss situations can emerge. So life is a real rough teacher. We have to learn from it well and never stop learning, and please learn from your near misses. Thank you for a very patient hearing.